Hey, everybody, welcome to day number 5 of How to Make Money with Email. Had a couple thoughts before we get into this. I literally was thinking about this morning. My friend uh, Jansen Bradshaw from Everyday Reading she's embraced email from the get-go. She was the one who actually got me into talking about email before I was even working with bloggers. And so she was the first person that invited me to come speak at something. Anyway, she's really embraced it. She's the one that has um, the website that helps parents instill love of reading in their kids. Anyway, one of the cool things that she does every season, she started out once a year, but now she does it every season, is a reading challenge. And she contracts with this graphic designer to make this really cool printable thing that you could actually, you go to Staples or Office Depot here in the United States and you can print it out and put it on your wall, and the kids can color in when they have read a certain book, and then she recommends books to read during that season, and they go to the library and get those books and then they read them, and she gets thousands of email subscribers that want that freebie. Now that's a great example of a freebie. I love a good quick start guide, but that's an example of a freebie that adds value that if you're, if there's, I guess I'm giving you permission. If there's anything holding you back today from putting up a lead magnet today, come up with the dumbest thing possible, the simplest thing possible, and put it up. Um, I was working with Natasha from Natasha's Kitchen several years ago. It was Thanksgiving time. We had not done anything related to Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? That was silly. But it was just kind of at that point where we had just started working together or whatever. And I said, we got to do something. She said, I don't have time. I'm in the middle of, and I said, here, let me do it. And I made a pop-up that said, go ahead, steal my menu. And that email was just a series of bullet point links. Starters, dun, dun, dun. Breads, dun, dun, dun. Desserts, dun, 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 right? It was one email. No pictures, nothing. It was literally, here's what I'm making for Thanksgiving. Go ahead, steal my menu. That was it. Tons and tons of people. She went on to Instagram and she said she had a picture with her and her cute daughter and said, we're in the midst of um, making Thanksgiving dinner right now. You might want some inspiration. Go ahead, grab my menu. Tons of subscribers. So it, I'm giving you a system here, but I'm also giving you permission to experiment and try stuff and hopefully prioritize this. Like literally today, you could put something up. I've been overthinking this stuff for a long time, Karan says. Yes, you have. I have. We all do. Jansen overproduces a beautiful, printable thing. She invests money because she knows that that works and she plans ahead for it. Overproduce is not the right word. I'm just using that word to convey a point. But she's come up with different ways to think about capturing an email subscriber. There's almost every idea that you have, you could put out and say, hey, do you want a couple of these? I will give them to you in exchange for an email address. That is it. You want to know what I'm doing this weekend? Do you want to know where to go in San Diego to see the pumpkin patches? Do you want to, on and on and on. It doesn't have to be this big fancy thing like a quick start guide. Then it's not even fancy. I just like the quick start guide because of all the reasons we talked about. Anyway, you get it. Go make something. Launch today. None of you have taken me up on my promise to review your pop-ups, to look at one, to tell you where it's not working or why it's not working or how to make it better. And I'm still happy to do that. But nobody has asked me to yet. That tells me that you haven't launched anything yet or you're shy. Okay. Oh, Michelle. Yay, Michelle. All right. Well, let's take a moment. Michelle, unmute, will you? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
And how do you define working?
How do I define working? Well, I already had one running. And so I was already getting subscribers from that one. And now I'm getting the same amount of subscribers from the new one.
Okay, so it's not different.
It's no, it's so far it's the same, but I needed to take the other one off because it was still summer.
Ah, so it was a good seasonal switch. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Um, Wonderful.
I've got one and you can tear it apart.
All right, throw it in here. Throw it into the chat, and I'll take a look.
Yeah, I'll throw the website in there. You got to go second page for it to
Okay.
load.
All right.
Let's see.
Remind me your website again.
Theforkedspoon.com. It's send a link.
Okay. And then I'm going to go to the second page. All right.
Might have to scroll down for, I don't know, like 40 seconds. It's pretty conservative.
Okay. Well, that will be number one reason why nobody signs up for it is that they won't actually
Haven't
ever
had
see
many.
it.
Yeah.
um, Then, and by the way, that's what I'll tell all y'all. First thing is you got to check, is this thing on? Does anybody actually see it? Because that's quite often it's a technical thing, or in this case, it's a choice. Yeah, Aaron, nothing yet. I'm on the second page.
Keep scrolling down and
Yeah, I'm
there's
all
a
the
couple
way.
figures on
There
it.
we go. All right, I see it. Let me show it to you here, everybody.
I've got a desktop version and a mobile version.
Cool. All right. Are you using OptinMonster for this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could tell. All right. A couple things here. Things I really like. There's movement. There's something that catches your eye here. Now, not all of your email platforms and pop-up software, this is talking to everybody else, not Aaron, will support this sort of thing. Or nor maybe do you have the design chops. But for those of you who are on Kit, do you see what Aaron's doing right here with this? This is simply an animated GIF. If you have a Kit pop-up, you can create an animated GIF and then drop it in there. My suggestion is don't have more than 3 images and you're going to want to compress them down so that so that the whole GIF is under 500K in size, because you've got to be, conscious of how long not everybody's on the same super high speed bandwidth that I am. And so their situation might be different. If you want go to easygifmaker.com if you don't know how to do this, or you can chat GPT the whole thing. But this is a very simple resource right here if you want to make an animated GIF. And again, for those of you who are on Kit, if you use the Poplar CSS code that's in the Email and Autopilot course, you can have a different version on desktop than on mobile. The desktop version will show the image, the mobile version will not. All right, back to, I'm a little concerned about the size of this on mobile. I'm mimicking it here on my browser, but I'm just guessing.
You have to do a fresh load to show the mobile one and then wait for the second page.
Gotcha.
It's
All
a
right.
completely different one.
All right, I'll believe you on that one. We'll just talk about this one. All right, quick and easy dinners. So it is very simple. I get what this is right away. The readability is very strong. Minimal prep, family approved, stress-free recipes. I see that you were economic on your word choices there. Those words seem to be deliberately chosen, so I like that. So no, it tells me that I'm going to get recipes. The only thing that I can think of here, Aaron, aside from make it pink, I'm kidding on that, is a call to, if this doesn't land like you hope, then I would experiment with this headline a little bit. Like, I know that is super short, quick and easy dinners. And then it's this pop-up and it infers that you're going to sign up. But in theory, arguably, I could get quick and easy dinners by just bouncing around your website a little bit and finding these here, there, and the other. So something that tells me to get this now. These are Jessica's signature quick dinners, or 5 days of 30-minute meals, or something that feels like it's a thing into itself. Am I conveying that the right way?
Yeah.
Anyway, love it. I think there's a lot of really good things going on here. It also down here says, I'd like to receive more tips and recipes from the Fork Spoon. So that implies, lets them know they're going to be getting stuff. Tony asks, is it more effective to use specific numbers like 5 easy dinners? There's plenty of studies on that just in general, that numbers tend to work well. They work well in subject lines. They work well in headlines. They work well. That's why BuzzFeed used them so much, is there is a science behind that. But again, you're going to want to test it. You don't know until you test it, because it could be that the rest of the message. Anyway, I like that it's got the X here, the nice and visible and big, so I can visually see it. So I like it. Looks good. We already talked about it, you and I, about the timing and things like that. So that'll be I think your biggest gate. And then of course, one quick thing that you could change here, I should have mentioned, is the seasonality. Quick and easy dinners. My fastest fall meals, something like that.
Yep.
All right, great stuff. Thank you for sharing that. If anybody else has one that they want me to look at, let me know and I'll do it at the end of this session. Okay. All right, let's dive into. Yesterday we talked about some easy ways to make money with email, and today we're going to get into some more specifics of things that you can do. I'm going to talk about affiliate marketing here next, and before you check out. Oh, was there a question? Gron.
Yes. So I wanted to just contribute to the last conversation real quick before we move forward. We are bored with our dinners. We have regular stuff all the time. It's chicken and chicken and chicken and beef and beef and beef and just pasta and pasta and pasta. But maybe consider how to make meals more exciting that are quick meals, because we're just bored.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the core point to emphasize is that what problem are you solving?
Yeah.
I mean, that may be your problem. My problem may be I don't have time. Somebody else's problem may be that it has gluten. And somebody else's problem maybe is that it's not a chocolate chip cookie, and that's all I eat. So the different problems that we need to experiment and figure out and that's kind of the main thing here, is testing which of those messages will work. It very well could be that one quick tweak of Aaron's pop-up goes from quick and easy to no more boring chicken. Boom. It could be a doubling of conversion. You're absolutely, you're onto something there for sure.
I'm just saying boredom is a thing. Just consider it.
But it's not a thing here in this really exciting email mastermind, because we're going to talk about my family. This is my family a few years ago when they were all single and still living with us. It was like one of those times of life where we said, that before they graduate and leave the nest completely, let's go do something big. So we went to Europe, and it was a 3-week trip. This was a big deal. And I told them they had to pack light. And so what I did is I bought everybody this backpack. It's a Peak Design backpack, and I just love it because it's got zippers everywhere. You can hang a carabiner off these hooks. You can stuff all of your unmentionables into one place, and you can, as a place for your passport. Just everything that an old man like me just loves when it gets into zippers and compartments. All right, and it was so lightweight too, and it worked because they would just hop on the train. We'd go from train to train to train. We went to 5 different countries in that trip. It was crazy. So we needed this. Now, what did I tell you about this backpack, aside from bragging for a minute that I went to Europe that one time? Well, what you do, you have gathered an audience of people who care about what you have to say. As you are building trust with this audience, the recommendations that you make can truly matter and can truly help them. Now, some of you have been in my mastermind before and you've done this exercise before, but just humor me. I think this is fun, and I think it's illuminating, because many of you are either not thinking about affiliate marketing at all, period, and I understand why. Many of you are doing it with an Amazon link and hoping for the best. And sometimes you're doing my Friday finds, and you're throwing it out there, and you get 2 clicks on this one and 1 click on that one and 5 clicks on this other one, and then you make a little bit of pizza money here and there. All right? If that sounds like affiliate marketing to you, I'm here to tell you you're doing it wrong. So before I tell you how to do it right, let's talk about you for a minute. I want to make a list. And this is a audience participation exercise. In the Zoom, I want you to type out as many tools that you can think of. And I do not mean general, I love my mixer. No, I want to know the brand. I want to know the model. If you can't live without a particular tool in your business or your subject matter, there's a certain shampoo, there's a certain hair dye, there's a certain type of yarn that you use when you're crocheting or doing your macrame. I don't actually know what macrame is, so that could be completely irrelevant. Whatever makes your life easier or more comfortable, saves you time, money, makes you feel like a smarty pants. I want you to put your authentic stuff in the chat right now. What is your version of Peak Design backpack? I'll wait. I really do like this part. All right, Danielle, that's one. What else you got? I know you got more than that. Cuisinart oval electric skillet. That is very specific too, by the way. I love that. The Breville food processor. Oh, and you are not a Blendtec person. You are a Vitamix person, Michelle. Okay. That sounds like give me that some thought. Mop Top anti-frizz gel. Bounce curl brush. A bounce curl brush? That's a thing? Like you actually curl it a certain way and then it bounces? That's the idea? Okay. I have very straight hair. Maybe I could use a bounce curl brush. And the Pantene 10-in-1, that's favorite shampoo. All right. Furls crochet hook. Aaron, is that a specific brand of a hook? Why that one? What makes one crochet hook better than another crochet hook? Amber glass bottles with black pumps for soap. You like that for the look, I'm guessing. Okay. And do you have a particular place that you get that? Those are clear glass bottles with gold pumps. A white blend. Is that a brand? White? Oh, no. Okay, so you don't care about brand. You just want the color. White Keurig. I know what a Keurig is. Okay, crochet pattern yarn kit. Is that a brand, Aaron? I need brands. Battery operated candles, plug-in candle warmer lamp. All right. Thermo instant. I know a lot of people love the ThermoPro meat thermometer. And then, of course, whatever Jessica wants, the WJW for sure. Compact mics. There's a certain brand that you like, isn't there? I mean, you can get the really expensive ones, the ones that have the German names. I can't remember. Or you can get something cheaper. What do you do? Microplane zester, tasty ceramic air fryer. All right, Furls is ergonomic. It's pretty. It glides nicely on yarn. It just feels good. Okay. The Vigo garden raised bed, Lodge cast iron. Okay, why Lodge? Come on. There's plenty of Dutch ovens out there. I've met those people. They're very nice people. The Rode mics. That's what I thought you would say. I thought you might say that. Blue Diamond. Okay. Which GoPro are you on now, Todd? Are you on the latest one? And you're not doing the Insta360 competitor? The 12? Okay. Black Diamond headlamp. Look, does this spark curiosity in you, but other people are talking about? I mean, Melissa's knowledge alone, all of us are going to have the most beautiful hair if we just start paying attention to what bounce curl brush she's using. All right? I know I'm going to go do some research right after this. I have a guess, a gut feeling that tells me that for those of you who are in food, when Sally from Sally's Baking Addiction holds up her phone and she walks into her pantry and she says, "Want to see how I organize my pantry?" You are glued to that. You're fascinated to know how somebody that you follow organizes her pantry. Why? Because we believe that she has put in the hours, tried the stuff to figure out what works for her. For those of you who signed up for Kit based off of some past recommendation from me or somebody else, did you go research all 400 email service providers? Or did you say, you know what? I took a glance at that one and that one, but Matt likes Kit, so I'm going to give that one a whirl. That's how life goes. We don't have time in this consumer-laden market. So you are not serving your audience well enough if you're not giving them product recommendations that matter in your space. I had a whole conversation yesterday with a James Beard Award winner. This man knows the kitchen. He has tried everything. And we were having this conversation. I said, what's your favorite thing right now? And he said, I love these Misen pans. Anybody heard of Misen? Give me a reason for Misen is what I said. And he went on for 20 minutes. Like, I don't care about cooking this much, but he was telling me everything about me. See, Michelle, you didn't even mention Misen in your list, but you love them, the capital love. He went on and on and on. And I said, have you ever told your audience how much you love this product and how it really helps you? It's like a secret thing that you've got in your kitchen. He's like, I haven't. He proceeded to then create in his mind, and he jotted down notes, a quick start guide to Misen pans about how you'll level up your cooking just by switching to these pans. Would his audience of a James Beard Award winner care that that's what he uses in his kitchen? You betcha. That's my bet. So what problem do you solve? What do you know that others need to know in order to be as awesome as you are in your subject matter? All right. Now remember, this original deck was aimed at food bloggers, but this is for everybody. You can create affiliate-ready content. We're not even to the email part yet. Here's some ideas. How a particular item makes your life better or easier. Okay? This is a real-life article. It's 5,000 words where I explained what trip insurance was. I compared Disney cruise insurance to other out there, told people there was a 70% chance that you'll need it. This one article paid for my kit list, my ConvertKit list as a whole every single month. Was it making me rich? No, but it took that one expense. Remember, we had this whole ROI conversation yesterday. I never think about the cost of my email service provider anymore. And I don't even have to because it's covered by one email in one segment of one Forever series. There's Natasha. Learn how to use a particular item. In that, you can also tell them what item that you use. This is still in Sally's Forever series, to my knowledge. We came up with this, we wrote this email, I think in 2018 together. It's been a very long time, but I believe that she still keeps it in her Forever series. It's in the first 10 emails that you'll get. Why? Because she legit thinks that you will be a better baker if you use these tools instead of something else. Do you think of Sally from Sally's Baking Recipes or Sally's Baking Addiction as a shill for products? Does that diminish your respect for her? She's doing you a huge favor. Whatever your thing is, there are new things that come out every year related to that. The best accessories for whatever. You could do a starter kit. For those of you who are in crafts, you're probably familiar with Cricut. There was a time period where I was into Cricut, believe it or not. Cricut it's this device where it prints out like, I don't know, vinyl stuff that you can put on your hydro flasks or whatever. Anyway, there are approximately 2,345 accessories that you could purchase from Cricut, and you need 3. So the starter kit of what you need and what you don't need, that's helpful. Just tell me. And sometimes people just love you. Sometimes you are their Oprah, and they want to know what you're up to and what you're doing. Gift guides are the logical place. All right? You can also think in terms of deals and do research for people. So this is Merrick from Merrick's Art. This is what she does. As she breaks down what's a good deal, where to get it, when to get it, how much you'll save, and it's all in fashion. Black Friday's coming up. That's a logical time for even somebody like the Pioneer Woman to share the best deals that you find or that your team finds. Amazon Prime Day, great deal day, whatever we just went through. That's another time that you can mention this stuff. Now, the way that I believe that you can use email to drive affiliate sales. I'm going to change this right here. My first thing is going to be fall in love. I want you to be like that James Beard Award winner for Meeson. Because I asked him, I said, would you tell people even if you didn't have an affiliate link? He said, heck yeah. Would I tell you what platform I use even for email, even if I didn't have an affiliate link? Heck yeah. Why? Because I believe that it will work for you. What has worked for me will work for you. We share stuff like this all the time. So if you think less about affiliate stuff and think less of it as Friday favorite finds, and here's a random Amazon link, which is fine. You think less of it of, oh, I was given this vanity code and I promoted it. But instead, you are just sharing your love for a particular product or service. That will change everything. Here's a real life example. Massive food blogger. She signed up to be an affiliate for one of those subscription boxes. It delivers chicken and other meats, but she just gets it for the chicken. She got the coupon code and was like, 15% off, when you use my code, get 15% off, plus you get this free whatever. You've all seen those. You probably all promoted those once or twice. She put it out there and nobody signed up. Crickets, nothing. And we were talking about it. She says, well, I said, why do you want to promote this to begin with? Well, what I do is I've actually signed up for that and I get it. It arrives at my house on Monday. The chicken is really good quality and it costs me about the same as Costco. So the convenience factor is great. I get the chicken and I make Monday's meal, and I always make this recipe. And then I make this recipe, this recipe, and this recipe. And that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all at one time. And then I've got leftovers for the weekend. And presto, in 45 minutes, my cooking is done for the week. I said, that's your email. She promoted this as her secret system or whatever. We came up with a clever way to promote it. But where she was talking not about the brand, but she was talking about what she does with the product. She became their #1 affiliate. Not only that, she was able to negotiate and turn that into sponsored deals. What if the item or place you want to tell people about, we don't have an affiliate link, but there's an adjacent one that we do have an affiliate link, and we don't love the other thing. What do we do? How do we stay authentic? That's a great question. Todd asked that one. I do have on another slide here, when we're talking about sponsorships, is if you love it and you know that you'd be a good partner for that brand, whether it's sponsorship or affiliate or something else, do the work. Get their attention by sharing your results. Results speak. I know this. Remember, I told you I was chief marketing officer for a Daily Deal website. We had two aspects to our business. We had email marketing, which we are actually talking about, and we had affiliate. I worked with Slick Deals, Deal News, Brad's Deals, and you name it, because we had these daily deals that we would share. And when somebody came to me and said, look, we just did X, Y, and Z, I would like an additional percentage for our next campaign. I was like, you got it. You bet. When Brad's Deals came to me and they said they wanted something, and in exchange they would promote it #1 in their newsletter, they usually got it. Now, if you just come and you say, I know you don't know me, but I promise I'm going to promote you in a big way, you know where that's going to go. But when you have stats and you can say, look, here's the receipts, that changes everything. All right, anyway, ways that you can drive affiliate sales. You could add cornerstone affiliate content to your Quick Start Guide or Forever series. All right, so that could be like I was talking about with the Disney cruise trip insurance. That was like email number 13 in the Forever series. What if that had been email number one? Would it have done so well? No. I think I built up trust by email 13, by week 13, that they were listening to me now, that maybe this is something they should pay attention to. So you add that in at the right time, it can be very, very useful. Of course, send seasonal broadcasts. You know what? After the first of the year, there's a lot of people who got a new air fryer, a new slow cooker, a new Ninja Creamy, or whatever. Or they wanted one and they didn't get one. And so now they're going to go get it. That's a great time to send out content related to that sort of thing. Or like we talked about, it's Amazon Prime Day, Black Friday. Now this one, imagine this. We've already learned the concept of a quick start guide. We've even talked about segmentation yesterday, how we could use tags and triggers. Imagine that Danielle puts in her roundup for Saturday, what I'm making this weekend. And one of those is an air fryer recipe. When they click it, she can tag them with the interest air fryer, and then that could trigger, without them knowing a darn thing, what's going on behind the scenes, that could trigger a 3-day series that says, I just wanted to tell you about my favorite air fryer. I evaluated these options, and I settled on this one, and here's why. If you've ever thought about changing, you might want to do it. Now, here's 2 recipes that I love with it. Then the next day, here are the air fryer recipe or accessories that I love so much and how I use them. Then day 3, here's my top 5 favorite air fryer recipes. That content is actually helpful to somebody who has an air fryer, and you happen to know that. And you can create the journey where that is evergreen. The first time that somebody clicks on that, boom, off it goes. You could even create a separate newsletter. Look, I'm not going to speak for all of you, all right? But just imagine this for a second. There's a portion of your audience of the local San Diegans that would love to know about deals, entertainment things going on in San Diego. There's a portion of people who are going to Curlsbot that would love to know about hair care deals. You see where I'm going with this? I'm not saying that you need to do that, but I do have clients that have done that. They've basically said, I'm launching a separate newsletter. If you would like to know, get alerts whenever there are deals on this. And then you almost turn into Brad's deals for hair care. Is that just a question of whether or not you want to go there? You can add affiliate content to your templates. Here's an example, kind of an old school example. This is Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. She was in one of these sessions with me, and she shared this with me and gave me permission to share it. So what she does is in her email template, at the bottom of every email, you can see looks like it was around this time of year, right? Halloween and stuff. But at the bottom of every email, she has these blocks, if you will. And she can go change that template from time to time. If you're in Kit, for example, use the snippets feature for this, where you could just drop in and change up your vanity codes or your Amazon store or whatever you're excited about. And then if you forget it, it's fine. It's still pointing to the other one. Here's an example of somebody who has combined sponsorship and affiliate in a really smart way. This is Lindsay from Nourish, Move, Love. And this is her email newsletter over here. So it's all this content, workout plans, yada, yada, yada. Then down here, it's got this box. This is done through snippets in Kit, but you could do it either manually or whatever. And she has a series of different affiliate. And she has just instructed her team that they rotate through the affiliate, they track them to see which ones perform. But what she is doing is saying, whenever I don't have a sponsor, we are promoting something. And she puts it there. The audience is just used to seeing this now. We talked about this just briefly, but imagine that you launched a new series, that air fryer series, and you just put that out there at the first of the year. Even if you didn't use the trigger, you just said to everybody, hey, have you ever thought about air fryer? Hey, have you ever thought about leveling up with the type of pans that you have in your kitchen? Hey, have you ever thought about all the awesome things that you could do if you were part of the San Diego Senior Society? Wow, that was terrible. Then you create this how to use an item. Imagine that you're doing Traeger grills and you're doing this at May. That's a perfect time when people start thinking about it. And you could say, this is only available through the end of May. It's a free thing, but by making it time-bound and scarce, it adds that element of, oh, this is special. And then create a launch and promote it, just like you would a product. You're really investing and leaning into helping people with your product recommendations. There's plenty of things to promote. I won't get into that. You already know all that. Anyway, I've spent more time than I probably should have on affiliate. But the reason I hammer this a lot is this is accessible to everybody. You could do this now, even if you're just getting started. Hey, look, I've had multiple situations where because I fell in love and I promoted that love, where I had almost in the same way that you have content pillars, I have affiliate pillars in my business. I do today. There are certain things that I recommend all the time, and it's produced a regular, steady portion of my income as a result. When I was doing the Disney stuff, obviously they were very different, but I had some travel agents. I had some that paid me as a sponsorship, which we'll talk about in just a second. I had another one that was just a great Disney ticket affiliate relationship. And I could count on that money every single month because of how I promoted it. When you lean into a few and figure out what you really care about, what you're passionate about, the first couple of times your audience will go, okay, I get the business. You're recommending something and you're getting a kickback. But when they keep hearing about it and you go deeper into it in the same way that that blogger did with the food subscription service about how she actually uses it in her life, it changes everything. None of you will do this. I don't know why I spent so much time on it. I don't know why. But everyone that ever does comes back to me and tells me that it has become, and it will be a year's, it will run for years for you. What you are building is a system that can run for years when you are investing in brand partners that you have through affiliate and the content to support it. All right, let's talk about selling stuff. How many of you have something to sell? Digital products. What have you got? Cookbooks, ebooks, guides, subscriptions, services? Have you got consulting, membership? Okay, excellent. Guides and courses, audio membership, books, all the things. Okay, good. Patterns, courses. Oh, you've got an in-person summit. Wow, that's an undertaking. Awesome. All right. Ad-free versions of your content. Online summit. Man, go-getters here. Love it. Okay. Well, we covered this. There's plenty of things that you can sell. You don't need me to tell you. Now, in the food space, I'm going to give you some examples of what some people are doing. Maya from Wholesome Yum, she is the GOAT as it relates to selling ebooks. If you ever have thought about selling ebooks in the food space, go spend hours immersed in how she does it. Okay, sign up for her list. Go, check out how she sets up her store, because she uses email to drive sales. And she uses bundles and has lots of different products. It's not just one. So she swaps them in and out constantly. I just saw Nisha I guess it was in June, and she was telling me how well her meal plans are going. Okay, so they've created this really beautiful experience with meal plans. So they have the same funnel where they use email to capture people that are interested, and then they promote it primarily through email. So here we go. The Lazy Day Cooking Club by Carrie. She's put this together and brings people together. So before I get going too far, here's an important piece that many folks miss when you're selling something. Remember what we were talking about, that it's hard to sell anything if you don't have any credibility, if you don't have trust built up. So those of you who are selling anything or have been selling something for any period of time, This is Kimberly from the Sweet Red Poppy. So I was working with Kimberly and Josh, and I was kind of in this mode where I said, I was like collecting testimonials and stuff. And I said, hey, will you do me a favor and just, do a quick testimonial? Well, she is a prolific, creative craft creator, and she has a whole studio with lights and cameras and the whole thing. And so one day when the hair and makeup were done, she was finishing up a project. She just kept it on for a little bit, and for 90 seconds, she talked about what life was like before working with me, what it was like to work with me in the process. And then she concluded with, since working with Matt, we've made hundreds of thousands of dollars implementing what he taught us. Now, I can't pay for that. Kimberly's one of you. Kimberly's one of us, right? We can trust Kimberly because she went through the experience for reals. And she came out the other side, having invested in me, explained that the process of working with me was not too painful, and that at the end of it, she actually got the results that she wanted in a big way. Your results may vary. But she's crushing it. Now, does that change? How many of those do you need to hear before you make a decision about whether to invest in an email advisor like me? It doesn't take too many of Kimberly's for you to help make that decision. So for your product, and I am talking at all level, for your membership, for your guides, for your crochet patterns, for your courses, for your online summit, do you have testimonials? Are you asking for them actively? How is this an email strategy? Because you will, Rosemary, 10 euro coming your way. Thanks. You will, if you will collect these testimonials, the email stuff becomes so much easier. I promise. I'm pausing for effect here. I'm hoping I'm letting you see. This is the hack that nobody takes me up on. If you are just launching a product and you don't have testimonials, guess what I'm going to tell you? Go get some. Seed the product with people that you'll find that will say things about it. I'm not asking them to lie. I'm not asking them to make up false reviews. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying give them a taste of it. Give it to people for free if you need to. But start asking as part of your regular process. Once you have your testimonials, other things that you might want to consider for your sales launches that will help you with email are reviews, any sort of money back guarantee. This one's huge. Make the thing go away. It's going to start and it's going to end. All right? If you will do this, you will get more sales, period. Evergreen sales are great, but we're talking about product launches where you want to make bigger dollars. And then, if you can, during that launch, throw in something special, because you are selling it all the time. But during this special launch period, throw in something special. Now, if you're going to send a bunch of emails, which I suggest that you do, you may have seen emails like this come your way. And this looks like a lot of emails. I recognize that. Hold with me on that. I'll explain how to overcome that in a moment. But the typical or elements of an email sales funnel looks something like this. You'll probably get some sort of tease that goes out before the launch that says, I'm working on a solution to this problem. Or what's your biggest struggle with X? And so it lets people know that, okay, this is coming from Matt. Matt's doing something. Something's going to happen. It's already planted. So when launch day comes around, then it's like, I told you I was working on this, or you told me that such and such was your big problem. I've solved it by doing this. And this is a long form description of your offer. All right. This is not one of those quick Matt Mullen emails. This one's a little bit longer. We're going to focus on the main feature. You're going to want one email that just talks about the main feature. There's plenty of things that your crochet patterns will do, that your online summit will do, that your courses will do. In the case of email on autopilot, the thing that everybody wants to know is how to grow a list. But it also talks about Forever Series and automations, segmentation, pop-ups, and all that, right? It talks about all that stuff. But what they really care about is how to grow the list. So I focus on, when I'm doing a promo, I focus on when Melissa bought Email on Autopilot, she went from negative 13 subscribers a day to 13,000, and off she goes. That's what the type of stuff that I focus on. Okay. Testimonials. You might have one of these emails that's literally just a testimonial or a series of them stacked up. Tony said this, Aaron said this, Jennifer said this, Mallory said this. You're going to want to, in certain cases, like especially high ticket items, you might want to have an email that just says that overcomes all objections. So look, I understand you're maybe on the fence about this. Here's why some people don't take advantage of this offer. It costs too much. It's pink. It doesn't come in pink. Whatever the thing is, all right? Just address those issues in the same way that you would if they were standing there in front of you. You'd be honest, authentic, and say, I understand it's expensive, but if you'll do what I'm telling you, you'll be rich beyond your wildest dream, or whatever you would actually say to somebody. Or I'm sorry, it's not in pink. I don't have any plans on making it pink. Whatever. These ones are non-negotiables, okay? On the last day, you need to have at least one final day, it ends today email. At least one. You see I've got 3 here. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you might want to. Sending more emails gets more sales. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. There is the chance that you're going to irritate some people in the process, and I'll explain how to get over that in just a moment. But you might have a final day, and 6 hours prior to the end, you might have something that says literally this ends in an hour, last chance. And then some of you are going to cringe at this, but it works. The very next day, great news. Because we know that some people were unable to take advantage of this before the sale ended, we've decided to extend it for 24 hours more. And that's it. You'll pick up another 10% sales by doing this extended trick, okay? All right, now, that's a lot of emails. Do you send all those? Probably not. But you're going to want to send some version of this. The more emails you send, the more sales you'll get. You will get more unsubscribes. That will happen too. The way to mitigate that is to allow people to opt out. Something like a tag that says mute Black Friday offer. And then at the very top, you don't hide it. At the very top, you say, if you're absolutely sure that you don't need the How to Be as Awesome as Caitlin course, click here to mute future emails about this promotion. And then when they do, they are tagged with this, and you simply exclude this tag from all the other sends. This one's really important. Many of my content creators that take this mastermind have not had a lot of experience in marketing. So I want to share this with you as not just a best practice, but if you really want to get good at this, this is standard marketing. You create a promotional calendar. The simplest way to do that is today. You get out your little book that looks like this. Mine happens to be pink. I love it. And then you open up and you go January all the way up to December, all the way across. And then you go, which months does it make sense for me to promote my Whiz Bang Doodle ad-free crochet pattern PDF? Okay, it makes sense in January because people are getting back to crafts. It makes sense in fall because that is, crochet is fall season, whatever. Black Friday is a great time to do it too because everybody's expecting a deal. All right, once you've done that, then think about the promo. And this can be anything that increases or changes the value. You can throw something else in, added content, a feature. You could do a special Facebook Live session with everybody who purchases it, where you teach a little bonus, whatever, or they get to see you doing it in person and ask questions while you're doing it, whatever. I have done, for example, when I've sold Email on Autopilot, the course, I've also done a mastermind like this with that course for people who don't have the blessing that you do of being Raptive. You can also change up the theme in the title to just fit a particular audience or season. For example, in the past, I've done Email on Autopilot for Instagrammers. It's the same course. It's the same basic stuff, except that the beginning module focuses more on that medium than others. You can partner up, right? Lucy's got some great stuff. You go to Lucy and say, hey, I know you have an awesome whatever. How about we take your awesome thing and my awesome thing and put them together, and presto, we have a new product that we can both benefit from. Discount, I say use that sparingly, but it does work. A good time to use discounts, for example, are especially at the beginning and the end of life of a product. I have that mentioned here as well. Um, by the way, kill your products and relaunch them in different ways. Think of how Rick Steves does this. Rick Steves is that, the travel expert, and he has the guidebook to France. His 2025 guidebook is not that different from the 2026 guidebook. Pretty sure he's probably changing 35 lines in the book, and the rest of it's the same. But he can then say, well, you know what? Last chance to get the 2025 version. And then when the 2026 version comes out, be the first, or pre-order it, or whatever. All right. Hope that helps you as you think of using email to sell your stuff. Notice very little of that is actually email. Did you notice that? Most of that was just marketing. It's just we happen to have an audience that we've been building up trust, and then these are the types of messages that we can use in our emails. All right, we're going to talk very quickly about sponsorships. Today, more than ever, while it is not to the level of Raptive or Mediavine of what they're doing, there are sponsorships available or ways to make money actually in the email content itself when you send out an email. Now, when you start thinking about this, if you want to be good at this, I need you to have this mindset. The reason I'm bringing this up with this really creepy image, I didn't realize how bad that image is. Now I'm really looking at it. It's kind of bothering me. I don't hear it as much today as I did 2 years ago, but the brand partner is the enemy quite often. Why? Because they make us bloggers do work that we don't want to do. We have to give reports, or we have to say things a certain way. And so it's frustrating sometimes. In the past, we may have looked at sponsored deals, sponsored posts from that perspective. I get it. That can be true. Certain brands inside their bureaucratic systems, they have certain qualifications, words, requirements. They need certain reports in order to justify it to their boss. But I promise you, if you keep this in mind, if you end up making money for your brand partner, this is the key word, they will become your partner. Here's what goes on. If you've never worked in their job, so a brand, at the brand, they have a marketing manager, somebody who's in charge of a budget. They're given a certain amount of dollars that they can spend every quarter, and they're supposed to get a certain amount of results. What's the easiest thing for them to do? The easiest thing for them to do is to give it to somebody like Raptive. Or give it to an agency that just deploys it across Google ads and YouTube ads and Facebook ads. Why? Because they don't have to really think. So when they take the time, and plus it's kind of a CYA thing, right? They cover their butt by, oh, that's Facebook ads. That's how it is. It's changing. But if they take the time to work with an individual partner, all of that work that they have to focus on you takes them away from the bigger stuff that they have. And they have 800 things going on. So when you make money for them and you make it easy for them, you can become the easiest line item for them ever. You can go from the hardest decision to the easiest. So if you get the chance, that's what I'm saying, if you get the chance with a partner that you think could be your partner for a long time, like that discussion we were talking about, Todd, with growing into it. If you get that chance, treat them like they are the chosen one and make money for them. Because if you will, your life will be so much easier going forward. I have certain brand partners that I make them a lot of money and I can ask for anything. I have had sponsors of newsletters over the years where I would go to them and I'd say, what should we promote this month? They said, what do you think? I'm like, I'd like to talk about this of your product. They're like, great. Now, not every brand's going to do that. But the reason they did that is because I was delivering them results every single time and they did not have to worry about me. So if you get that chance, this is your main goal. That means be creative, it means stand out, it means be different. That's why this does not fall into the make money in an easy way sort of thing, in the way that Mediavine and Raptive might. Now, they do have that. There are companies like Beehive, Kit, and there are others that will insert ads into your emails. They don't work very well. They work fine. But what they're doing is they're doing kind of what is done at Raptive on a website with Raptive, is that they show ads that they think that your audience is going to be interested in. They don't pay very much. You're going to get pizza money from it. Does that mean you shouldn't do it? No, not necessarily. I have plenty of clients that do that, and it helps offset some of their costs. It's just not the most lucrative way to do ads, but it's the easiest. So if you're interested in that, then certainly go for it. I don't see any problem with it. I definitely do not. My experience has been, because a lot of people ask, well, won't my audience be irritated with this, having ads in my newsletters? Ads are everywhere. So you can be a purist and that's fine, but you really won't see any diminish. And there'll be no hurt to your brand by putting an ad in a newsletter, I promise. You can do it in a way that's tasteful and fine. So some of you have that objection already. But for those of you who don't, a couple things to keep in mind. You're going to be given choices. Editorial format will work better than, say, something like a recipe, an ad inserted into a recipe list. The editorial type, so you might be thinking about the type of email that you're writing that has an ad in it. What else do I want to say on this? So treat your newsletter list as an asset for your brand partner. So if you're doing sponsored posts, you can offer email as an upsell, meaning assign it a value, make some reasonable CPM valuation. You're going to ask me how much, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know. It's a little bit of this, woo, and then be a little bit more aggressive than you are comfortable with, a number that hurts a little bit, and you put it out there. Because remember, they can always negotiate back. But at the bare minimum, even if you don't actually ever collect that money, you can be using that as a value add, a perceived value, to get what other things that you want, such as sponsored posts on your website or on social or whatever, because it can be part of a package. Blah, 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 blah. What else is important here? Some of you might want to start here. We talked about this briefly. If you know there's a brand that you want to, I've done this many times. My example, the subscription box is just one of them. Start with affiliate, prove that you're awesome, and then negotiate sponsors. Because your affiliate manager over there, they've got a list. They know who the performers are. And if you're performing, they're going to go, whoop. Last thoughts on this. If you're going to do this, don't rely on a management company to do this for you. I don't know of any. I really don't. I don't know a single one that does this well. If you have somebody that does this for you and does it well, let me know. I'd love to know. The reason for that is that historically, bloggers have kind of stunk at email, which means that we haven't done a very good job of creating an environment for the brands where they're used to it. I had a client that, because she understood the concept of quick start guides, lead magnets, sponsorships, she went to, this is a food blogger, and she said, I will have a, they wanted her to promote their produce, this massive grocery chain, nationwide grocery chain. So I'll tell you what, I will make a quick start guide specific to produce. And all of the recipes in there will be your sponsored posts. And you will be a sponsor of the quick start guide itself. So that added additional value. She grew her list. She was going to do it anyway. And then just kept sending stuff related to sponsorships. That was because she thought of that. Can you imagine any agency thinking of that in this environment? I can't. All right. Look, as we wrap up, it's time to get going. Remember the baby who starts out crawling and then starts to walk. That may be where you are right now. Go make it happen. Got to start testing some stuff, trying some things. Be a pioneer to a degree, but I've given you, I hope, at least a framework that you can start thinking about these things, and one or two of these maybe become part of your arsenal for making a lot more money going forward with email. I hope that's been useful to you. I will practice what I preach. I'm going to ask you for a testimonial right now. If this class has been helpful to you, will you do me the favor of sending a note to the folks at Raptive? Honestly, I really appreciate it if you do. If it's not been helpful, then let me know how I can be more helpful to you in the future, because I really want this to work for you. But support@raptive.com. Send them a note. Tell them that you enjoyed this, that it helped you, and any sort of takeaway of something specific that you learned. I think that that's going to help both of us, because they're spending real money on this. And I want them to keep doing that, obviously. They're a great partner. But I think that you want them to as well. Because if it's not email, then maybe it's the next whiz bang thing that they invite experts to come in and train on. All right. So I appreciate you. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and unmute. I'm happy to look at anybody's stuff, talk through where your situation is. But if we don't chat, thanks for being here. I look forward to maybe seeing you at a Raptive event down the road. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? All right. Thanks, everybody. Go make some money. Any questions? I'll just pop up. Okay. All right. Homemade, lovely. So lovely. So homemade. Both things together. All right, Shannon, what am I going to do here? What's going to happen?
It should only take 5 seconds. I've got it set really short right now, specifically for this.
Want a cozy? I do. I definitely want this. I really like this. This is a lot of words. Can we say this
I
shorter?
know, yeah. Yeah.
This is a ConvertBox thing, huh?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played with it. Can we change the color here? I don't even know.
That for the X?
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe?
it just always kind of blends in a little bit. Is it working?
I just turned it on like at the start of this thing.
Yeah. No, I really dig it. Have you ever tried animated GIFs with ConvertBox?
No, I haven't.
I don't even know if you can. I haven't tested it, but I
Yeah, I
wonder
don't
if
know.
you can. That'd be kind of cool if you could to rotate through a variety
Yeah.
of cozy images.
True.
How's the quiz do, by the way?
The Find Your Style quiz?
Yeah.
I have a few, so that one. It does well.
Okay. With ConvertBox, do you have any A/B testings on this headline?
I don't. I literally threw it together just so that you
Yeah,
could look
cool.
at it at the start of this.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing that occurs to me is I would just be testing some headlines.
Okay.
That's it,
Okay.
because there's a lot of words to get to. If you did 5 secrets to a cozy home, does the word secret pop? I don't know. It's kind of cliche, but maybe.
Okay.
What if you said get 18 or get my 18 favorite fall tricks or ideas
Yeah.
or something? I would just be testing that messaging.
Okay.
Great. Good stuff.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. So this quiz, anyway, sorry. Let's talk about this for a second.
What? Yeah,
Are you putting at the end? Is this an interact quiz?
it is. Yeah. I have had Interact so long I'm grandfathered in and don't pay for it at all anymore. So
Love it.
I use lots of quizzes that you get just because I can.
Have you tested length of quiz?
I have different quizzes, so I haven't tested this one to be the length of this one. This one's been the same for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you ever thrown that quiz into a ConvertBox pop-up? Or Interact has a pop-up, don't they?
yeah, so I change things out all the time. So right now, site-wide is that quiz. So it is it was in a pop-up until ConvertBox wasn't working properly. So then I
Right.
had to turn everything off. And then now I'm going back to test whether the pop-ups will work. And it's just the embedded forms, like my friend said.
Got it. So you don't know if the quiz outperforms the quick start guide and vice versa.
I don't, because I haven't done a quick start guide for a couple years.
What's your gut tell you? What do you think?
It depends because they're totally different, right? Like this is a single category. This is my decorating category one. Whereas the quick start guides that I've done in the past are like spring nesting or like fall cozy, and it kind of covers all of it.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to gauge which outperforms because they're so different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I hope you'll share with me if you
Mhm.
think of it. I'd love to see what you find. I don't have a lot of experience with quizzes, and I've been thinking lately that that might be a blind spot, where just
Okay.
I've fallen into my own rut and or my own pattern and need to experiment and see what happens with something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky because I feel like I change because I have so many different kinds of opt-ins and I
Yeah,
change them out like every month or every
right.
season or whatever. So,
Do you
yeah,
think there's anything wrong with that approach?
with
Like,
changing them out?
yeah, it sounded, I couldn't tell if you're like,
No, it's just I can't it's like comparing apples to oranges. Like right? Like a quiz that's in now versus a spring nesting quick start versus
right,
a
right.
whatever. Like it's tough to compare those.
Yeah,
They all work.
right.
It just yeah, it's really
Um,
hard for me to compare them.
yeah, I would be very interested. They're just randomness.
Mhm.
I'd be very interested to see what happens when you have, because I believe Interact probably has the stats on abandoned quizzes, but what
Yep.
happens if you go from an 11 step to a 4-step quiz?
Right. Yeah.
Like, do they really care that much? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
which Disney princess are you? Well, do you smile big or smile little? Do you prefer fish or yeah, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Um, when really it comes down to three basic styles that that everybody wants to
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I have an organizing personality quiz and I have a like how messy is your house quiz.
It,
So,
it does lend itself to great segmentation though, doesn't it?
oh, it does. It's great.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're really good for that. And
Yeah.
people, they want to, it's that curiosity and self-interest, right? Like they're curious of what they are, of whatever the quiz is, and they're totally self-interested because it's all about them.
Right.
So, yeah, I like them. But again, I have Interact free, so it's kind of
Well, yeah, I don't think Interact's that even, was it $30 a
I don't
month
know.
or
I haven't
something?
looked at it for
I
a
don't even
month.
think it's that expensive for the
Yeah, I don't know.
if you're awesome. Well, good stuff. I hope that you got
I
when I
did.
saw you were signing up for this, I was like, oh, because I know you know this stuff. So I was like, oh,
But it's been a while. It's been a while. So, no,
cool.
it's good. I got some good stuff. So,
Awesome.
thank you.
All right, great. Does anybody else have any questions or want me to look at anything?
I actually have a quick question. This is Jennifer.
Hi.
So I guess I'm unclear about the rules of I'm definitely not using the testimonials aspect. And I have a shop in Etsy, I have a shop in Ravelry where I sell digital PDF crochet patterns.
Okay.
And people leave reviews all the time. In Etsy, I have over 1,000 reviews. Can you pull those from Etsy, or is this something you have to specifically ask? Like, I'm just wondering about
Yeah.
like people consenting to me putting this stuff in the email. I mean, because they've posted the review publicly, or
Right.
is this something you have to specifically ask for people like, hey, can you leave me a testimonial that I'll use in my newsletter type of thing?
First of all, I'm not an attorney, although I play one on TV. Um, I I think you're safe if it's public facing already, meaning especially like if you just take a screenshot of, like this is literally on the store. I've seen people do that where they just take a screen grab and pick it up and drop it into the email. This is what so and so said, and then show that they said it.
Mhm.
And typically it doesn't give personal information there other than maybe a first name, last initial or something. Um, if you have the ability to do so, just from a goodwill and um, to make sure you're really covered, I think hitting reply on every single one of them with a standard response that says, "Oh, thank you so much for saying this. Do you mind if I share this in my newsletter? Do you mind if I share this on my newsletter or website or other places?" Or or would you mind writing one that I could use for such and such purposes? Feels like something that you could probably pretty easily put into a little note that you just copy paste into every single time, and then a bunch of people will take you up on it and do it. I think you'd be safer that way, but I don't think that's a problem. And I'd do it personally. I would take the screen grabs and drop it into the email.
Okay. Okay. I definitely need to utilize the testimonials more because I have some. They're just kind of sitting there on,
Yeah.
in the shop. I should spread the love.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anybody else? All right. Well, now we've reached that point where it's just awkward. So get out of here. If you go have a great weekend, I would appreciate that. If you do anything other than email this weekend, you're probably doing it wrong. Just keep that in mind. And I look forward to, I hope you will share. I'm not dropping that. I'm not gonna disconnect that Facebook group anytime soon. So keep me posted on how it's going, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Take care.